Are you an athlete?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Some people struggle with that question.
Yeah, that's all I ever did. That's all I ever knew. I loved getting dirty. I loved diving. I prepared myself that summer and I trained so hard. I was in the best shape of my life. First 2 practices in, they're like, you can't play this season. And I was like, what?
Are you
And
kidding?
no, but it was devastating. Yeah. My
Yeah.
identity was sports. And so then I compartmentalized. I killed that part off and I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of done with that version of who I was.
She gone.
And switched to being an artist.
So you were dating your teammate of the team that you couldn't play on?
Yeah, and we were in secret too, so no one knew.
Me too.
Yeah.
So when was your last game?
Yeah, my last game was in Italy. You were bringing back some interesting memories. We ended up winning and exchanged jerseys. I think that's when my soccer career was done.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in it. I was like wanting to be a professional soccer player, but I saw how much they made and I was just like, how? Yeah, it logically didn't make sense. I don't think until after I graduated college that I actually started grieving and mourning.
How do you feel now about people not knowing this part of you?
Oh, that's a good question.
Kelly Balch grew up playing literally every sport, but soccer became her thing. She was a scholarship goalkeeper and had her eyes set on professional soccer when things took a turn. Now she's a badass photographer and author, and we're talking all about that athlete to artist identity shift.
Are you an athlete?
Yeah.
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 Some people struggle with that question.
Oh, are you?
I
Really?
know. Yeah.
Oh, no, I still, yeah. 100%.
I struggled with that question a lot.
Wait, why?
When we first started talking about this, in my mind at that time, it was very, if I'm going to say I am an athlete, I didn't feel like I looked like one. Like people wouldn't know that I was one unless I went and like read off my list of accomplishments. So if they don't know all those things and they can't see those things in me, then how am I allowed to keep that identity?
Oh my God, that's interesting.
That was how I used to think about it.
But also because athletes are in so many different shapes and sizes. And also, what is the definition of athlete?
Correct.
No, really, what is it? What do you think?
So, well, I've looked it up before.
Oh, right. According to Webster's 2009.
But also, it is very interesting how those things tend to define it because it's just based on having the skill and knowing the knowledge around how to play a sport or how to do it. So it doesn't actually say anything about you actively being able to perform it right this second at your top ability in your best shape of your life.
Ooh. See, that's amazing. When you asked me that, I would still say I'm an athlete because I have an athlete's mindset. I still am active and I will always be an athlete. Yeah, that never...
Was it a big part of your identity growing up?
Yeah, that's all I ever did. That's
Me
all I
too.
ever knew. Even with my dad, and you know, my dad would always be, he was part of a coach of like one of our basketball seasons. And so all of my siblings were athletes. So that was a big part of our family thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. We didn't have news on at home. It was Sports Center.
Yeah.
Like when you turn the TV back on, it's just going to be Sports Center or whatever game was playing the night before.
Any sport?
Yeah.
Not any particular one? Wait, how many siblings do you have?
Two younger brothers.
And you grew up with brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
The only thing that I think might have changed via birth order was my brother, 2.5 years younger than me, was very into hockey because basically it was the sport that my mom could put him in at the youngest age. Because when he was only like 4, my mom was like, this kid has to get into some sort of organized something just because he was so athletic from so young.
Oh,
but
wow.
in T-ball, they didn't require gloves at that time. And so my mom was like, he can't go out onto a field with kids that don't have gloves on because he could hit the ball so hard already.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so outdoor roller hockey was the only thing that she could put him in at 4.
That's incredible.
So if he had been older, I probably would have played hockey.
God, I wish there was hockey.
Right.
I played street hockey with all the neighbors.
I love that.
The neighborhood kids. Oh, I was obsessed.
Yeah.
Because Mighty Ducks was out during that time.
Yeah.
Do you remember Mighty Ducks films?
Hell yeah.
I was obsessed.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
And then I wanted to be a ninja. So I joined.
I mean, it's a very close follow-up to Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks Ninja.
Yeah, hockey and ninjas.
Yeah, I love that. So what sports did you play growing up?
I started out in gymnastics.
Me too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think I was 3 years old because my sister started gymnastics. And then I quit because my instructor had bad breath. I remember it distinctly too because I remember stretching and she was stretching me and she was breathing over my neck.
Kelly was like, that's a no for me.
I was like, so just like,
Look at
no.
you setting boundaries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I remember I was just looking looking over, at my sister and just being like, wow, she's so good. And that's something I wanted to do. But then I went right into karate. I did taekwondo.
Nice.
And I wanted to be the ninja.
Yeah.
And did really good. I almost got my red belt.
Dang.
But then my sensei left all of a sudden.
Oh, damn.
I was just telling my mom this, actually. I was like, I would have totally been in a career of just taekwondo or jiu-jitsu if he didn't leave.
Interesting.
Because right after that, then I went into soccer. And
no sensei. Gotta
yeah,
go
no
to
sensei.
soccer.
We went into, because my mom like did, you know, how parents do sometimes. They just put you in all different type of activities.
Might as well try it.
Yeah.
See what sticks.
And I'm grateful. Like I did basketball. Oh my God, I was in so many different things. Getting a headache.
I do like this too, though, because I feel like you get to talk a lot about all the other things that you do in your life and like the things that are interesting now. And I feel like you probably don't ever really get to talk about the athlete side.
Oh my God, no, thank you for saying that. That is so true. And I was an athlete.
Yeah.
I did so many sports when I was little that they put me in the newspaper because I did so many sports. You know, the recreational sports?
Yep.
I did soccer, basketball, baseball, track. And I got in the newspaper I think I was like 9.
I love it.
And was obsessed with soccer and basketball. That's when I started really diving into that.
And you played soccer and basketball until how long?
Oh my God. I played basketball 10 to my senior year of high school. And then I was like, I think I want to do soccer for my actual senior year. And by then I had played soccer like, you know, AYSO at 10 to 12. And then I stopped to focus on basketball.
Interesting.
Yeah, I stopped playing soccer to focus on basketball because I went to Palmdale High, and Palmdale High is like a really intense basketball team.
Okay.
Most of those athletes went to like D1 and D2.
Okay.
And yeah, I was like, I don't think I'm going to do as well as like some of my teammates. And so I was like, I want to try soccer. And so I quit the summer into my senior year and tried out for soccer. And I went to play we were like second in league. I was the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I got a soccer scholarship.
I was a soccer goalie.
Were you really? Yeah. Aren't we cute?
We were so cute.
Two Capricorns just being
soccer goalies.
That's so great.
I love that.
You probably were like dominating that, huh?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't play it in college, but I could have gone D1 in soccer.
Really?
I went D3 in basketball.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you went and you did the basketball route instead of soccer route.
Yeah. I played basketball, volleyball, and soccer all the way through high school.
Oh my God.
And then basically chose my junior year when you're starting to get recruited and everything that I wanted I wanted basketball for college.
See, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. We kind of had a very similar.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe you weren't playing it and then picked it back up again.
Because of our basketball team being so intense, we literally practiced and played year round. So I wasn't able to actually play soccer in high school.
Okay.
I played up to when I was like, I think I was 12. Then I was like, I'm going to join this club team in the summer times.
Yeah.
And I joined it my senior year of high school. Yeah. And I
Mm-hmm.
got a soccer scholarship. I was very grateful. I feel like that was my route. Like I was so happy playing
That's
soccer.
wild.
Yeah. I was very grateful.
That's
very
fantastic. So went to college for soccer.
College at Kansas Wesleyan for soccer. We dominated. I would have shutout after shutout. I had a great team. We were amazing. We went to nationals. Most of our teams were all Americans. So I played there my freshman and sophomore year, and then I transferred to Cal Lutheran and played soccer at Cal Lu.
What prompted the transfer?
Kansas Wesleyan held 800 students, and about 90% of them were athletes. I actually was trying to get into U of O, University of Oregon.
Okay.
And I sent them in this tape of me doing goalkeeper stuff.
Yeah.
And got to visit the campus. The coach was like, oh, we already have our team, obviously.
Yeah,
you know, but you can be a walk-on. And so let's just meet up. And so my mom and I went to U of O and got to meet the coach. And she goes, you'll be our third string goalkeeper. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I said yes. They were like, okay, well, you need to apply, obviously, to get into school.
Okay.
And I applied late and got so scared that I wasn't even going to get in for that fall year.
Yeah.
And so I applied to Cal Lu just as a second runner-up thing because my family had gone there.
Okay.
And my sister went there. I got accepted at Cal Lu before U of O, and I actually got accepted to U of O in September, but I had already given the yes to Cal Lu in August.
How do you feel about that?
I was so depressed my junior year. Yeah. I actually write about it a little bit, in journals and stuff, just how depressed I was because I wanted to go to U of O so bad. I probably wouldn't have
And it was
played.
right there.
Yeah, and it was right there. I've already,
My heart breaks for your little junior Kelly.
Yeah, I was devastated. So I even wrote to the coach. I was like, I'm sorry, I heard late. I didn't know. And she was like, oh, dang. She was such a dope coach.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's not how life was meant to be.
I guess not.
Yeah, because then I met my college girlfriend.
Yeah, there we go.
And realized I was gay.
Hey,
I probably would have realized at U of O,
I was going to
but
say, I think you probably could have also gotten there if you were at Oregon, but maybe not.
you want to hear something funny?
Yes.
The girl that I ended up dating at Calu wore U of Oregon stuff. So I thought it was a sign. Yeah. Can't make that up. How gay is that?
Do you now still actively think that was a sign, or
Yeah.
was that you mourning?
Both.
Okay.
I think it was both. I think my head had to my mind had to really
You were like,
translate.
I gotta have some sort of consolation
some
prize.
U of O thing.
Can I wear your sweatshirt?
Yeah. Oh, I did.
I knew you did.
Oh, that's so funny. And she played soccer with me.
I love that for
Yeah.
you. You started dating your teammate?
Yep.
Me too.
Oh.
Me too. So, had a transfer, but played college soccer all the way through.
No, not my senior year.
Oh.
Yeah, I was so depressed I got bad grades.
Oh.
And I wasn't able to play. I was devastated. So not my senior year, I didn't.
I
But
need
that
to
was
rewind that. I just made so many assumptions.
Yeah, I know. Actually,
I'm so sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Because it's crazy. You look back and
Yeah.
it's crazy to see how everything put into place too. Of I was so depressed my junior year of college. I was still very active in playing the sport and everything else, but I had bad grades, which then led me into focus on my actual art and work.
Yeah.
That I was like, wow, I actually really love photography. And I did this whole senior, presentation about photo documentary style, shooting.
Okay.
And then shot my first wedding.
Seriously.
Yeah. So it was all these different type of maneuvers to get me to
Yeah.
my actual career.
And potentially filling the void of now you don't have soccer practice. You don't have all these different things.
Yep.
Or did you still have to go to that type of stuff? You just
No.
weren't able to play.
No, I remember
So you weren't a part of the team anymore your senior year.
It was so devastating. It was devastating. So I just kind of dove into my art. Yeah.
What did that feel like?
Oh, it was so sad. So when we were talking about identity, right? My
Yeah.
identity was sports. And so then I quickly compartmentalized and switched to being an artist and totally played this artist role of okay, well then now I'm a photographer. But it was devastating. Yeah.
But you felt that need to jump from identity to identity and you needed something to replace that.
100%. I don't think until after I graduated college that I actually started grieving and mourning that type of identity. And because I didn't even do photography after college, I was just so depressed. Wow, okay, this is I was a happy person, but there were moments.
Or were you compartmentalizing and you were showing your happiness and you thought you felt happy, but all of this was in the compartmentalized box?
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was still a good run of sports because as a Capricorn, I like money. So I was what gets me paid? And sadly, women's sports was not that. And I remember even wanting to try out for any type of European soccer league. I did a whole summer between 2007 and 2008 that I went to Italy and played for
no shit.
this division of USA women's team, but they're C or D team.
Yeah.
And we went to Italy and we played Italian teams. It was absolutely incredible. I was like, oh, I think I can play in Europe.
You were in it.
Yeah, I was in it. I was wanting to be a professional soccer player, but I saw how much they made and I was just how is anybody
That
living
doesn't
off?
logically make sense.
Yeah,
for
it
you.
logically didn't make sense. I didn't have a partner to help me with that. How do they even do that?
Yeah.
Then I just dove into photography.
That transition out and you didn't really grieve it or mourn it until after you graduated. Did you actually grieve and mourn at that time? Or did you know to do that? Did that happen naturally? Or was it not till later?
No, I don't think I knew how to do that. But I did start writing, and that's when I wrote my first book.
Right after college.
Right after college. I was already writing a little bit of it because I always loved writing, but I didn't write and fully publish my first book until after college. And so I would like to say that that book helped me with heartbreak. I was dealing with identity, I didn't know who I was. And so through writing, I was understanding and getting to know who I was at an emotional level.
Yeah.
And then even just kind of helped me actually zoom out and see how things came to be. So even when I said I didn't play my senior year after I graduated, I was able to see oh, this all needed to happen in purpose.
How do you feel now about people not knowing this part of you?
Oh, that's a good question. because it is still such a big part of my identity.
I see you light up as you're telling me all about it. You interact with and work with a bunch of people, and their identities are known, and they have celebrity status and things like that. But then there's this big thing where you played internationally and you did all these things and you were a collegiate athlete. And I would guarantee that probably not anybody knows this about you because you don't make content around that or anything like that.
No. Wow, you're hitting me just with that realization. Oh, that's so fascinating. I think because I killed that part off and I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of done with that version of who I was and became this,
she gone
famous photographer. And I was like, yeah, okay, now I'm getting new accolades and new success of it with that. Only my close friends know about this version of who I am with that. That's a great question.
Well, it's just interesting too, and that's where my brain jumps to because the very first time we ever met, my brain tends to categorize people that way, and I'm always seeking the athlete in people just because that's how I relate to a lot of people too. And I just remember in the way that we met, it had nothing to do with anything sports related. The content that we were shooting, all of that was not sports related. I remember meeting you and I was like, oh yeah, she was an athlete. So then when I was thinking about the podcast, I was like, I have to have Kelly on this. And I knew none of this about your athletic history.
Wait, okay. And then how did you see that I was an athlete?
It came up in some sort of conversation because I remember my brain thinking like, oh, she had to have played sports. And then in just one of our brief hangouts or something, you mentioned something about a sport or something. I didn't know actually whether you played in college and things like that.
Yeah.
I did before we started talking.
The reason why I asked that is because, there is that athlete mindset still very present. So after college, I lived with one of my friends who went to the same college with me, and he was an athlete. And he worked in this business called Athletes to Business. And it was helping athletes who didn't actually go to the professional level enter the business field. And he was trying to get me into these corporations because the whole thesis behind that is how athletes are self-disciplined. They have a very good mindset of being motivated and ambitious, competitive. Work as a team.
Time management.
But also competitive, time management, all these being an athlete really helps you with these beautiful characteristics. I remember telling him, I'm like, no, I want to be self-employed. And he goes, oh my God, how are you going to do that? And I'm like, with being an athlete mindset, waking up at 5 a.m. for that run, that you hated, but then afterwards felt really good about. So I just remember thinking I need to be doing these things that are going to do me good, but are painful in the meantime.
Yeah.
I just remember being so grateful of having that athletic mindset because that's how my business got so successful.
And maybe or maybe not seeking those external validations.
Oh, 100%.
And accolades.
I love good accolade. Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
I remember getting frustrated the first couple of years of not getting any awards. I'm like, how do you win awards? And then finally oh, okay, now we got it.
What an athlete of you.
I've already put in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but
where's my awards?
The trophy.
Yeah, does that come at the end of wedding season? Does everybody get an award?
Yes, if I do more weddings than someone else and I have a better record. Does that get me to the postseason? Or
that's so funny.
For me, when we started talking, no former athlete kind of mindset, as I'm now in my 30s, I'm like, oh wow, my athlete identity of everything growing up just impacts how I interact with the world.
Oh, totally.
Fully.
Yeah, 100%. And being a goalkeeper too. So being a goalkeeper, you're seeing everybody's movements, right? You are in control of pretty much the game, right? So that's literally how I run my business is I want to make sure I see things so that even my perspective on how I move through the world is very athletic. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a very vocal goalie as well.
Ooh,
I'm sure that's surprising to anybody. No, I talk a lot.
And director?
Yeah, my teammates would tell you I literally talked the entire game. So you know how some goalies are just kind of chilling back there, taking it all in?
Yeah.
No, I was at all times weak side, there's someone coming weak side, go
Amazing.
There. If the pass was going up, it'd be man on, turn, wherever. Yeah, I was
a little bit of hybrid of that.
All of it.
That's awesome. And so how do you operate in the world like that?
I talk a lot.
Yeah.
I direct a lot of
communication.
things. Yeah. I like to control things.
Yeah.
But we're working on that.
Yes, we are. Both of us, we are working.
It is interesting because I think for so long, because I chose basketball for college, and then that's kind of what I was more known as. Our team had a lot of success while we were in college. So it's okay, you're basketball. And so it also is interesting talking about this. Recently, me being a goalie has come up a little more often. I never realized that also that time, and I was very fortunate to play on very good soccer teams. When you play on a good soccer team, the ball doesn't come to you very much.
Oh, I know. You get bored.
Which honestly is kind of, I think, why I geared towards basketball, because it was like I knew I could contribute more.
Yeah, totally.
It's interesting, though, because I never thought about also the freedom that being a goalie brought me. Of just like you throw your body at the ball.
Right.
You fly around.
Oh my God, totally.
You hit the ground. You get dirty. You get money. And that was
I love
not
getting
my
dirty.
personality.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, wait, that's so fascinating because I loved getting dirty. I loved diving. I loved being an animal.
I loved it. Like, I didn't know why, but I think I was so buttoned up in everything else that then it was like that was like a release and a freedom. And you
That
just
makes sense.
go all out and you dive.
Oh my God, it's like talking to myself.
I know. We also were just like totally chatting before this, and like these things were coming up. And I was like, "Oh shit,
we're very, very,
like
similar.
very similar."
Yeah, no, 100%.
Very similar.
That's crazy. And I was like during college, I was so very conservative in not just my actions, but even expressions of self. So yeah,
big time.
Yeah, just I guess because even in college, you're trying to find yourself. But that was one way I was able to express. Yeah.
In that time period, obviously, you know, in my situation, I was also kind of discovering my queerness in that throughout college at the same time. Athlete identity was strong, and that was kind of like my foothold. Like I could always lean back on that. So you telling your story, that's probably why I was making those faces at you, because I was like, what the fuck would I have done if all of a sudden your senior year's just yanked from you?
Well, I dove into my art, and that was another expression of self. And the girl that I was with was very tumultuous.
Yeah. Was she still playing?
Yeah, she was still playing.
So you were dating your teammate of the team that you couldn't play on?
Yeah, and we were in secret too, so no one knew.
Me too.
Yeah. I didn't even, and that was another tough one, was just like, we would get hit on by, you know, these guys, and we didn't date. I didn't date. You too.
How were you dating your teammate, but you couldn't play?
Yeah, it was hard. I was really just dismissing. I was dismissing and completely going into my art. Yeah.
Did you already know the art was there before going into college, or did you discover this during that time?
I did. No, I did. When I was 13, I started photographing.
Amazing.
And that was when I was like, oh, this is actually really fun. So when I played high school soccer, I would take photos of my team. I took photos of couples, and it was always, that was the hobby. Soccer was the career. So that was what was really interesting, was when that switched, was that soccer was the hobby and photography became the career.
Do you think you subconsciously sabotaged yourself into that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if I subconsciously did, but I definitely became more emotional. I think I was just understanding a new version of who I was, because I was also defying my religion at that time because I was dating a girl.
And you were at a very religious school, yeah.
I was at a very religious school. I was studying different religions. I think everything was just so in chaos that art was finally I can't go to soccer because she's there and I'm not part of the team anymore. The team didn't really even care for me as well. It was a weird thing that kind of happened. People knew we were dating, but didn't know we were dating. And so they didn't want to talk to me or talk about it. And it felt so gross. So I was just I don't even want to have anything to do with my team. Damn. So I really dove into art for that expression. And I think that saved me.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah.
Dang.
Are you making that face because that happened to you too, or no? Okay.
Also, when did you know you weren't going to be able to play your senior year?
Oh my God. So I had the first 2 practices, and then, so I was
started the season. Oh my God.
You're actually bringing back memories.
I'm so sorry.
No.
These were compartmentalized for a good reason.
I'm not kidding. When you were talking just now, I was having this moment of wait, seriously, why can't I remember some of this? Because I'm equating that to still a big pain. Oh my God. Of that relationship of my first girl, my first coming out, but I wasn't coming out. It was so hidden. But yeah, I prepared myself that summer into my senior year, and I trained so hard. I was in the best shape of my life. I remember just feeling so good. And then I think it was first 2 practices in, I get called up. I was 1 credit behind.
Are you
and they're
kidding?
no 1 credit, and they're like, you can't play this season. And I was like, what? Also, I've always been a very good student. So
Yeah.
for me to be like, whoa, I forgot about grades. Like, I remember being on autopilot my junior year. Didn't realize like, oh, that's a reality. I forgot that I'm a student because I was always an athlete.
Yeah.
And an athlete that always had good grades. So like high school was easy. I had really good grades in high school. So that was a whole shock of like, oh my God, I can't believe I wasn't a student. I was so out of it.
So when was your last game?
Yeah, my last game was in Italy. You're bringing back some interesting memories. My last game, oh, it was such a dope game. It was such a cool game.
I want that win for you.
Because we killed it. We played every Italian team that was,
Yeah.
and I wish I could remember their names or where we were, but I think it was in Arezzo that we played this one team and we ended up winning and exchanged jerseys. And then we ended up having this amazing Italian feast with them and watched the World Cup.
That's sick.
So it was so cool. Yeah.
Maybe that's a better last game than just like a loss your senior year.
No, but Erin, you're bringing up these crazy memories that I'm like, wow, that was packaged before because now I'm this. And that was what was probably so easy for me to dive into that was because that, equated with pain and was held with like this
Yeah, we don't
trauma.
want to feel that.
Yeah.
Definitely
so
don't want to feel that.
I played soccer, like, just like pick up soccer afterwards and basketball because I still love that. So
How'd that feel?
oh yeah, it was amazing. I forgot how much I missed it. And then just how you get right into it.
Mm-hmm. You can like flip right back into those skills and everything.
Because I was always still like running and lifting and working out. So I always maintain that. But yeah, it was really fun.
Which, see, to me, part of my hard identity shift. I knew going into it that I needed to get a routine, that I needed to stay consistent, that I needed to do all these things. And I just like cut that part of me off too.
Really?
Yeah. So like that's interesting to me that like you're unpacking it now and finding that it was this painful thing, but you still stayed active, you still ran, you still did the training things that you did to be good at your sport.
Yeah. I even ran like a half marathon because I wanted to keep that challenge and keep that activity. I think because I still used sports and the activity of sports for meditation. And for being in your body, right?
Yeah.
So that was always something very important to me. I worked out almost like all the time because that was still my meditation. Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was my meditation until like a couple years ago. And I was like, wow, I was like way less stressed, less anxiety because you're just playing.
Yeah.
I was way busier in terms of schedule. Yeah, exercise just like helps those things. When's the last time you played soccer?
Oh my God, I think it was like 2017 at a pickup game. Yeah. We used to play foosball a lot too.
Love it.
God.
Love it.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't actually.
I like this.
These are great questions that I didn't know.
Thank you.
No, yeah. I haven't even played like a pickup game of basketball in a while too.
All this is telling me is we need to like go get some shots up.
I know. And then I miss it.
That'll be fun. I'm very intrigued by not the pain of you getting your senior year fully yanked out from under you.
It was all my own sabotage, though. Like, seriously.
It's interesting because the way that you're talking about it now, it wasn't like you got cut from the team or anything. No. You had to grapple with your own actions and that being the outcome of them. In a weird way, it forced you to do the grieving and start writing and doing those things. Again, I'm just comparing this to my own experience, but it was like, I didn't do any of that when I ended.
Yeah, because like, you were already set to the next
group. You did. You got your 4 years. Yeah. You played them. You did what so many athletes want to do.
Yeah.
You won a national championship. You played, all the way through. It's like, be happy. You need to only have happy memories about that, but now move on because it's time to get to like your next thing in life.
Well, I'm wondering if you thought of that because you were a woman athlete and we knew there was a low ceiling to our careers at that time. My question to you is like, is that why you moved on to your next career?
That point, like skill set wise and all of that, it's like I wasn't going to play at the next level in terms of basketball. So it's like I knew I was stepping into whatever career I chose. Like I knew there wasn't a future in playing sports beyond college.
Yeah.
For me, it was more of a like, okay, great. You had these good times. Now they're memories. So just like, move along versus it being like, okay, I'm really going to miss this.
Yeah.
You kind of know it. Even for us, our senior year when we lost, we were hoping and quote unquote should or could have made it to like the next round of postseason. So like we lost in the Elite Eight, but like there was a chance that we could have made it to the Final Four again. You know, you go into the postseason game and you're like, well, when we lose, we're done, but we could have the next game.
Yeah.
But you also go into it knowing like, okay, when we lose, we're done.
Yeah.
I had that finality, you know, to the season.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish or feel that you would have done differently in your transition out of sports?
Out of sports? I think it's so funny because I'm looking back still and I'm like, I think I was pretty lucky of how my not being self-aware of what happened to me. Like you were like, oh, your senior year got ripped away from you. Yeah. And I thought of it as like, no, that was an ending of a chapter. Completely done.
I love that mature.
I was always, because again, I was very spiritual.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm very Christian. So I was like, oh, God wants it this way. God doesn't want me to be a lesbian, not be on this team. I can't even say that whole sentence. You
can't say it with a straight face.
I can't even say it with a straight face.
That is very interesting though, like having your whole relationship thing tied into it.
Yeah.
Because also being somebody who was dating her teammate in the closet to where no one else would have known. So like had we broken up and still had to go to practice, I've literally never considered this in my life until this moment. I don't know what the hell we would have done. Well, I mean, that's why I just married mine. That way I like didn't ever have to know what it was like either way.
You're like, well, we have to marry.
Yeah, I guess we must marry. Yeah, it's in God's will. You know, it was the path chosen for us.
This is the path that God chooses.
Yeah, it's so fascinating knowing that was happening at the same time for you too, to where you were like, why the hell would I want to be going to practice anyway?
I didn't actually really think I was aware of that. That's why I'm saying like I was still on this thing of like I feel like I was just writing everything out. I keep on looking back of like I wish I did this, but no, everything happened for a reason. You know what really ended? Was I wish I went to U of O.
Yeah.
I really did. Did. And that's where I think even going to Calu was like, I lost. Because that's when I remember the depression hit. And that's why I was like, oh, I'm done kind of thing. You know? So even though I played soccer at Calu, I still was like, my main goal was U of O. I think that's when my soccer career was done.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I remember specifically I wanted to go to U of O because I also wanted to work at Nike. And I wanted to work and make commercials for Nike and do videos for Nike. So I remember thinking I had this whole plan.
You pieced the whole dream together.
Yeah. So this is so fascinating.
And here you are. And what do you do now?
What do I do now? Yeah. I make commercials for Nike. No, I'm just kidding.
That would have been the best. I mean, in a way.
I mean, I can.
You're not far removed.
I literally can. Yeah. I'm not far removed. I'm also, I think that,
Hey, Nike.
Hey, Nike. What camera do I look at? But now I do photography, videography, filmmaking. I'm an author. I'm a creative. I like to say that I like to create spaces for people to be seen because that's what my through line is that I want to tell someone's story. And that story is obviously something that I think is personal to me, but also resonates with me when someone's telling their personal story. Also, most of the stories that I do tell are queer. Part of the LGBTQ community and wanting to support them and our evolution.
Even when you're dating your teammate.
Still
part of the story.
Very in the closet.
Yeah, that's an experience. That I don't necessarily wish on everybody, but it's an experience to go through.
It is an experience.
What things do you do now physically?
Physically, to keep in shape or that athletic like mindset.
Do you do it to keep in shape?
No, I do it because I really like that. It's ingrained. I love your smile because you knew what I was going to say. No, it's ingrained. It's never going to leave. I wake up seriously every day with a meditation and a ritual into moving my body. So that could be yoga or stretches. I do Tai Chi a lot. I actually had done Tai Chi before even karate.
Seriously?
Yeah.
When you were like a little kid?
Actually, one of my friends hit me up on Instagram and she was one of my best friends in elementary school. And she goes, my grandma still remembers you. You used to do Tai Chi with us in the outside of our front lawn. And I was like, oh my God, I remember doing Tai Chi and being like really good at it.
Yeah.
And so I like do Tai Chi sometimes just to move my body. I started getting into rock climbing.
Okay.
And boxing.
Okay.
And then I was in CrossFit for a bit. So it's kind of like just always being curious of different things.
Researching.
Yeah. We do for research.
We do it for research.
Meeting new lesbian. No,
For my next book.
Research.
This is the CrossFit Sapphic novel.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh my God. You are
you.
doing great.
You're doing great.
You know what is very sapphic is rock climbing.
Ooh.
Like I go to a rock climbing gym now. I'm looking around like there is so many lesbians here and fit lesbians. And I'm like, wow, geez, man. It's so
I would
sapphic.
read your rock climbing WLW book.
Smutty book.
Yeah, smutty book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you do? Like for physical?
Yeah, that's a really great question.
Yeah.
Nothing consistently. My brain is still working out of the like hard cutoff. This has been like a stark transition. And I have found that, like, for example, Alex leaning into signing up for the Ironmans and things like that.
Yeah.
Totally worked for her in terms of needing that thing that she's working towards. Again, I'm so driven off of the external validation of things.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to quiet that part and
Why?
just to have more internal validation. To not have
I'm
to
like,
have
why? But like,
Kelly's like, yeah, but like awards, trophies, like
no, not the trophies,
better.
but the external of like you feeling better and you know, like, no.
My external validation lies in the not doing anything for yourself. Like not knowing what I want. And I say that in the most general way because literally if I have a full free day, I would be like, what the fuck am I doing? Supposed to do?
Yeah.
I only know how to fit things in around other things.
Totally, yeah.
Because I also agree that that's the time management that athletes learn. They don't always come out of sports actually with like good time management in general. Like student athletes a lot of times are getting better grades. This might not be the same experience.
No, I love it. Yeah.
But are usually better, like team GPAs are almost always higher for the team during season than out of season.
Wow.
Even though you would say, oh, they've got more time to do all their homework and everything out of season because they've got 3-hour practices. But time management, because you're on a schedule, so you know you have to do your homework at a certain time because you don't have time to do it later. And as soon as you're in the off season, you're like, oh, let's go get dinner with our team. Let's go hang out. We can do that later. We've got time to do it later.
This is resonating when it came to wedding season.
Yeah.
Wedding season as a photographer, it's a specific season, especially in the United States. That's where I realized my time management was amazing. And then after I started kind of not doing that and changing different things, I don't like a very lull type of moment, and I don't know what to do with myself in that moment. But it's the surrendering of like, I'm allowed to actually just rest and be okay. Oh, yeah. But it's still my time management gets kind of all messed up.
You also had to learn how to rest?
Yeah, I had to. I really, and even as an athlete, it taught you how to rest specifically after a game or after an injury, an accomplishment, but not after like, okay, no, you deserve this rest. I had to really learn that.
Yeah. I think I'm still learning that. My one friend does also blame it on my Capricornness, so I'll let you confirm or
I was about to say
this.
that's a Capricorn thing too, but it's an athlete thing.
It's an athlete thing.
Yeah. And it's also interesting because, okay, so my brother's in the military, and I really believe that a lot of people go through different type of identity crisis when they are in a career that is just that devoted, right? I mean, they have that for, I don't want to relate this to prisoners, but even prisoners getting back and integrating into civil, you know. So the same thing with my brother in the military. I was just asking him, I'm like, what are you going to do when you're done, when you're retired? He was like, I don't know, something with military, or I was like, right? Like, it's kind of like you don't know how to rest too. I'm like, and I told him, I was like, you should go on a vacation.
The correct answer we were looking for was vacation.
Vacation, and then be able to move from there.
See how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this whole identity was that right out of high school.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't know, maybe it's just in our world, but it's like identity is so freely talked about, I feel like, in the queer community because everybody's experiencing their different shifts. But until I also allowed myself to be like, oh yeah, no, my athlete identity was also a thing and is also still in me. Maybe just isn't quite as big as some of the other identities, but like they can coexist. You're allowed to have multiple identities.
You're supposed to.
Exactly.
I'm not kidding. Until you approached me with being on this podcast, I literally was so confused because most people, I'm on a podcast for other things. This was really special because you made me think back of like, oh my God, I had this whole other life. And then going through like the photos and stuff, I was like, oh my God, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know, I was an athlete. I was deep in it.
You probably wouldn't have ever done anything different.
That's the Capricorn thing. I totally compartmentalize them. Yeah.
Which to me blows my mind a little bit that hasn't seeped through in your work now.
Well, the only thing that I did even know. Good segue.
Yeah, what did you do in the athlete world?
Yeah, I had an amazing opportunity to shoot Candace Parker's birthday / like retirement party for Getty Images. It was it was so cool because it was a full circle moment. Being able to see an athlete that I literally actually played against.
You told me that earlier, and that blew my mind.
I played against her in high school because Palmdale High was a very good basketball team, and she was amazing to see.
Amazing.
It was like watching LeBron or something. She was incredible to watch. I remember because it was at a tournament in Oregon, and it brought everybody across the states to come. It was one of the biggest, Oregon Trail. I think it was also a San Diego one. We watched her play.
Yeah.
There were teams just lined up just to watch her play.
Absolutely.
It was amazing. She was incredible. And I think at one point she left at halftime to go fly somewhere else, and she still had 60 points up in the game when she left.
That feels great.
So I got to see Candace Parker at the WNBA All-Star game.
Yeah.
Everybody was in town. I got to go for Getty Images and shoot her, and it was so cool hanging out with her. I got to meet Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird and a lot of other amazing greats too. So that was really special because with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe being there, Megan Rapinoe, I remember looking up and playing, soccer, like, oh man, that was it. She's the person for soccer. So it was really cool. Both my worlds of basketball and soccer colliding, and people that I very well respected. Yeah. So that was really awesome.
Just a little bit. I was living very vicariously through you in that moment.
It was really, really cool.
I'm so glad you had that experience.
Another athlete I photographed, the backup goalie for the USA women's team, her wedding up in Oregon. So that was really special.
I love that.
Yeah. So those are the only things that I really got to photograph that had athletes really in it.
Where
you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Again, from that perspective, it's like those didn't become a thing or an option because you were like, hey, I also have this sports connection.
No.
They came through other avenues.
Yeah.
But how much joy for athlete Kelly's heart to be a part of those things.
You're making me really put a microscope under that. Now I'm going to think deeply after this for hours and hours of being like, why haven't I focused on the more like women athletics or even athletics in general?
You have to.
No. But just even like in my career of like photographing or filming or even filmmaking, it's always been the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. Those overlap a lot.
Yeah. And those, what? There are no gay athletes. What are you talking about?
What is Pino's quote? Like, every championship ever won has had a gay person involved in
yes, 100%.
Even if you don't know it as an out situation.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Doing content, photography, video for sports, that was associated to you going to Oregon.
Yeah.
So when you didn't go to Oregon, that whole dream got blocked off.
Totally, yeah.
So it's like, well, yeah, okay, that's not a thing anymore. I have to do something different.
And again, the rites of passage. I always say that we go through rites of passages, whether it be in macro or micro instance. And that was like, I killed that off. I'm done. I don't need to look back.
But too, you saying that you killed it off, because even when you were talking about that first transition into artist Kelly, you said you killed that off. But then when I asked you as the first question of the podcast, are you an athlete?
I said yes.
You said yes.
I mean, because now I identify it as something different. But I was in organized sports, and now I'm just an athlete, like the way that I totally approach stuff. Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add, put out into the world?
I want to say thank you for this. Thank you for opening this like memory box that I didn't really think that I even had close. It was like a therapy session. This was great. I'm like, oh yeah, I had this whole other career and a really good one as an athlete. And then now, so thank you for this opportunity to talk about that, because you're right. I don't get this opportunity because I don't even have it laying on the surface when I am really an athlete. Yeah.
You're known for all the other things.
Yeah.
And those still show through now. All of those identity pieces still show.
Yeah.
But this one's still
is
in
another
there
version. Yeah. So thank you for that. It was really special.
Good.
I'm so excited for you guys in this podcast and what to develop from it.
Glad you're part of our no former athlete.
Yes, thank you.
Now.
Thank you.
Because you are a no former athlete.
Yes.
Now, having talked through it, all the things you kind of mentioned when I first asked you to be on the podcast, but what would you say that no former athlete means to you or brings up to your mind just as like an ethos or when you first heard it?
When I first heard it, it was like, I knew the identity shift into one of like, this was one huge career. And then what's your next career? How has that integrated and how has it not? And I didn't even realize that there was a hard line, that there was very little integration from my, being an athlete into my now artistic career. That's my takeaway, but that was my approach to it. It was like, oh, here we're going to talk about me being this athlete.
So. You got so much more.
Yeah. Thanks, Erin.
Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Also, it's just so good to see you.
It's really good seeing you too. Seriously, both of you guys.